Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel we discuss property, finance and investments. Now please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice, but if you're looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. If there's one thing that most people can agree on is that being an adult is hard. Getting your finances in order is one of the adulting tasks that can seem especially overwhelming and one that is particularly tempting to put on the back burner and to do so repeatedly. One of the challenges of young adulthood, and some of us have been there, is learning how to spend your money responsibly. It's easy to go to the mall and purchase a pair of sneakers, for instance, on your credit card, not worrying about paying it off until the end of the month. But it would be a smarter choice to wait until you know you have the cash so you can avoid paying unnecessary interest. As a young person, it is so important that you take control of your finances as soon as possible. Do not procrastinate. Money plays an important role in our lives and it deserves sizable attention. Unfortunately, personal finance is not a required subject in most high schools or colleges, and this lack of basic financial education leaves many young adults clueless about how to manage their money. Things like applying for credit and how to get or stay out of debt, how to negotiate. We often learn the hard way if we're not educated on it. Just on that point of negotiations, as a rule of thumb, my children know that I taught them everything is negotiable. Everything. And if you can't get a better price, you can get a better deal. Whether they go to the grocery store or the vet or even the bank, although the cost of some of these goods and services are fixed, that should never stop you from to negotiate and ask for a better deal. Let's say you go to a grocery store, one of these national chain stores, and you try to negotiate at the pay point, the toll. They might laugh at you, but the mere fact that you ask, well, that opens up an avenue. You play on the psyche of the person. Imagine a 16-year-old boy asking the cashier for a discount. He or she knows, the cashier, that that's not an option. But if you insist, they might not give you the discount because they can't, but they might just remind you or tell you to sign up for that savings program where you get extra discount on certain products at certain times. It might not be what you are buying on that day, but you will end up saving in the long run. They might also remind you about the upcoming specials and when and where to look out for it. And as you walk away from that till point, they might remind you that if you sign up, you get a free coffee or a donut in your birthday month. You see what's happening here? Just because you asked. Now the same principle applies really everywhere. You need to ask. Whether you take your animal to the vet, as I mentioned, take your car for a service, buying a car or a house, for instance, people won't necessarily tell you that you can ask for a discount or a special deal. But when you do, well, you'd be surprised as to how many doors open for you. I think the bottom line is there is always opportunities to save if you apply your mind. And once you make that paradigm shift, well, the world will be your oyster. In my case, my children negotiate on almost everything in the house. It keeps them sharp on the edge where I want them to be. So budgeting and saving and accounting for your debts are disciplines that should be learned as early as possible. If done correctly, they will most definitely set you up as a young adult to become financially independent and free. Because taking control over your finances becomes more and more important as you get older. Trust me when I say the time will come when you, as a young adult, you are fully independent and expected to pay for your rent, your food, your utility bills, all those things all on your own. And this is why you should be taking time to learn how to budget and manage your money now, because it will set you up for financial success in the long run. The first thing that you need to do, what I would like to share with you, you need to take the first step. You have to make the decision, and the best place to start may be at your bank statements. You reviewing your bank statements may help you to determine whether you are spending your money optimally or not. And it will also help you to create a spending plan, which is very important. I'm not sure if you've heard of the 50-30-20 rule, and if you haven't, let me explain it to you. I'll put up a graph as well to make it easier for you. It is recommended that you spend at least 20% of your disposable income on protecting and creating wealth, and 50% on your needs. Now, the needs are those bills that you absolutely must pay and are the things that is necessary for survival. These include your rent, your mortgage payments, your car payments, groceries, insurance, healthcare, and other utilities. And then the 30% on your wants. Now, your wants are all the things you spend money on that are not absolutely essential. These include things like dinners and movies out, that new pair of shoes or that handbag that you so desperately want, tickets for sporting events, vacations, things like that. And anything in the wants bucket is optional if you boil it down. You can work out at home instead of going to the gym. That's an option. Cook instead of eating out, or watch sports on TV instead of getting tickets to the game. This category also includes those upgrades decisions that you make, such as choosing a costlier steak instead of a less expensive hamburger, buying a BMW instead of a more economical Hyundai, or even choosing between watching television using an antenna for free, you can do that for free, or spending money to watch cable TV. And secondly, it is important for you as a young adult to learn self-control. If you're lucky, your parents taught you this skill when you were a child, but if not, keeping in mind that the sooner you learn the fine art of delaying gratification, the sooner you'll find it easy to keep your finances in order. Let me explain. Although you can effortlessly purchase an item on credit the minute you want it, it's better to wait until you've actually saved up the money. You should ask yourself, do I really want to pay interest on a pair of jeans or a loaf of bread? You might be laughing right now, but that's really what's happening here. If you make a habit of putting all your purchases on your credit card, and you do this regardless of whether you can pay your bill in full at the end of the month or not, you might still be paying for those items in 5 to 10 years from now. However, I'm also aware that there might be a sensible reason why you have or want a credit card. If you want to keep your credit card, for instance, for the convenience factor or the rewards that they offer, if that's the case, just make sure to always pay your balance in full when the bill arrives, and don't carry more cards that you can keep track of. This financial tip is crucial for creating a healthy future for your credit history. Discipline is important when working with your money. That brings me to the next step on my list. Number 3, control your financial future. If you don't learn to manage your own money, other people will find ways to manage, or should I say mismanage it for you. Some of these people may be ill-intentioned, like unscrupulous commission-based financial planners. Others might have good intentions, well-being, but may not know what they are doing. That is why it's important that you arm yourself with the basics. But then again, that's why you watch my videos, you subscribe to my channel, you like it, etc., because you want to know more. And once you've armed yourself, with your personal finance knowledge, don't let anyone catch you off guard. Whether it's a significant other or friends who want you to go out and blow tons of money with them every weekend, don't buy into that. Stay focused on your goals. That's why, the fourth tip for me is so important, and that is know where your money goes. You need to realize how important it is to make sure that your expenses aren't exceeding your income. The best way to do this is by budgeting. Once you see how your morning coffee adds up over the course of a month, you will pretty soon realize that making small manageable changes in your everyday expenses can have just as big of an impact on your financial situation as getting a raise. And in addition, keeping your recurring monthly expenses as low as possible will also save you big bucks over time. If you don't waste your money on a posh apartment now, you might be able to afford your dream house before you know, sooner rather than later. And next is start an emergency fund. Now, one of personal finance's oft repeated mantras is pay yourself first. No matter how much you owe in student loans or credit card, and no matter how low your salary may seem, it's wise to find some amount, any amount of money in your budget to save as an emergency fund, and do this every month. Having money in savings to use for emergencies can really keep you out of trouble financially and help you sleep better at night. If you get into the habit of saving money and treating it as like a non-negotiable monthly expense, pretty soon, trust me, you'll have more money than just the emergency money that you have saved up. You'll have retirement money, you'll have money for vacation, and even money for a down payment on a home or whatever. You'll see how those things accumulate. And my next tip is protecting your wealth, which is very important. If you want to make sure that all of your hard-earned money doesn't vanish, you'll need to take the necessary steps to protect it. If you rent, get insurance to protect the contents of your place from events like burglaries and fire. Disability income insurance protects your greatest asset, and that is the ability to earn an income. It will provide you with a steady income if ever you become unable to work for an extended period of time due to illness or injury. When looking for ways to save more money, people normally have two options. This is pretty obvious, but let me share it with you. Lower your expenses or increase your monthly salary. The first option is often the chosen one because it's less intimidating. If you ask for a salary and you get it, you'll be able to save a little more every month, and it will be a step closer to achieving your financial goals. So just be confident and know your worth. In addition to these 7 tips that I've shared with you, there are things like looking after your health, learning how to file your own taxes, diversifying your income, keeping your credit score high. All these things, and I'm sure there are a lot more, will help you as a young adult to achieve or even exceed your financial goals. I hope that what I've shared with you in this episode is of value to you. And if it was, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to share it, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. According to my channel analytics, about 30-40% of you will fall into the young adult category, so I'm really looking forward to all your comments. I would like to hear from you as well. Thank you so much, everybody. I see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.